some Muslims treat their women, and it's something that really, in a way, touches me, and I find it very negative. So I wanted to make an album about this certain kind of suffering as well, and I was kicking back, just researching for the album, and I came across with some pictures of my hometown Lisbon here in Portugal, like after the Oblivion. It reminded me a little bit the I Am Legend movie and all of that, and I thought this was quite, in a way, disturbing, seeing the familiar places without the human touch, without the human race going there. But at the same time, it was a kind of feeling there is more than us, and I believe nature will go on. So, but as nature goes on, she is deprived as well of her favorite sons, which I believe are mankind, the most perfect creation of nature. So it's all about this tension, having and having not, and it's not solved. It's something that people have to listen and to read and to make up their minds, because I think it's a very actual subject. But in Moonspell, it's not about Al Gore or Inconvenient Truth, even though I really like his work on that one. But it's more about pagan poetry and something more artistic.
Can you explain to us the writing process behind the Moonspell album, specifically the most recent album, Night Eternal?
Well, I think there's not really a particular method of doing things for Moonspell. I mean, obviously Pedro and Ricardo, as they handle the guitar and the keyboards together, they come up with the most of the riffs and ideas. My job in the band is mostly to give some sense. I wouldn't say in a musical structure, but some poetic sense into it. The Moonspell songs only start becoming a Moonspell song when there is like a subject behind, like a script for a movie, something like that. So basically, Pedro and Ricardo are always creating. I'm always researching also on the lyrical side. And then obviously, after being so many years together, each one has developed a personality of playing and of being into the band that helps definitely the final result. So Moonspell song, it's born by one idea I have, or Ricardo or Pedro. It's never a Moonspell song up to it goes through the four of us. And then there's also the producers on the picture. We normally arrange the stuff with Valdemar Sorista, which we've been working since Wolfart. And this time around, we've been working also with Two Madsen in Denmark. And I think, the final result, what comes to people in the end, it's not like a solitary work. Obviously, the ideas are Moonspell, the style is Moonspell, but I believe we work more in collaboration than this kind of band that one guy writes everything and the others just follow along. I think that's not the case with Moonspell. I think we all intervene in the process, definitely.
Do you feel that the Moonspell sound as a whole has evolved from the beginning, from Wolfheart now to Night Eternal? And if so, how do you feel it has evolved?
Hopefully, yeah. I always believe that metal has to keep a progressive spirit, and I'm not the kind of guy that lives attached to the past glories or, I think the past is really important. Everything we did was really, really vital for understanding the band. Moonspell has been doing albums since 94, 95, so for us we have the extra challenge of keeping things even more interesting in a way for us and for our fans. And we always kept, an open mind, and we always kept room for improvement. I believe that we've been more experimental in the past, especially in the change from the late 90s to the 2000s. But right now I think we have found a sound that really represents us, a mixture between, being powerful at moments, but not losing the ability of writing songs that can be emotional and grabbing people, as well. So yeah, I think I know Moonspell has evolved a lot, definitely. I think playing-wise, writing-wise, I think we're a better band now, definitely.
Let's talk about Night Eternal some more, specifically the song Scorpion Flower. You said that kind of differs from the traditional Moonspell sound. How did you end up working with Anneke van Giersbergen from The Gathering?
Well, I have to say we were old buddies with Anneke. The bands have a kind of common ground when we've been in Central Media together, and tour together, and we belong a little bit to the same generation, so there's a lot of things we share with Anneke and with her ex-band, The Gathering. Scorpion Flower was like the ugly duckling for this one, because Pedro and Ricardo wrote parts of it, and they were not very, very much into it because they thought we were going a little bit too far because it was too catchy, and they had this, metal, whatever, prejudice against their own songs, and I said, hey man, this is just a beautiful song, so we just take it as it is, and we never compromised for being metal or being softer or harder, so let me just, bring this song home and try to make something out of it, because I believe very much on this song. So at the end, when the song was already composed, in my mind it started sounding like a kind of a duet. First we invited Anneke just to do the chorus. She was like the first name to cross our mind, obviously, because I think she's definitely the original one for a certain kind of gothic metal scene that became more popular afterwards, with bands like Within Temptation or Lacuna Coil, just to name a few. And she was great. I mean, she's very generous. She has this beautiful way of singing, of smiling on stage. She was so generous in doing the song with us. It was not a song that she only did backing vocal. No, she had her own idea. She did all these very typical Anneke vocals with the harmonies. And she's featuring the video as well, which was amazing for us. And on the other hand, we already shared the stage at this Grass Pop Metal meeting, like one of the biggest festivals in Europe, and a lot of people related to that as the best moment of the festival. So
yeah,
I hope it's not the last.
Yeah, that was my next question. I mean, how was it doing the song live with her? Was it great?
It was amazing. I mean, when Anneke gets on stage, she really feels the stage with all her beauty and talent and charisma. And for us, it was a very special moment. I mean, we've been friends since a lot of years, but it was something that we never did together. I don't know, because or this or the other reason, we've been with on stage already with other guests. But I think Grass Pop was quite special. She fitted so much in the band. I even invited her to join Moonspell, but obviously she has better things to do. So, but it was great, yeah, and she's invited whenever she can, and whenever, things are gathered, we will definitely, Scorpion Flower, even though we play it, and it's a great song, and sometimes we play with different singers, sometimes we play with with a sampler, and it's not the same, we know that, it's like the difference between a living person and a ghost,
Yeah.
And that was part one of the interview with Fernando from Moonspell. Right now, let's get back into the Moonspell music. Right now, we're going to do track 4 on the album for you. It's called Scorpion Flower. It features Anneke van Giersbergen, formerly of The Gathering. And Fernando, as you'll hear in the interview, referred to it as the ugly duckling of the album. And right now, it's getting a lot of positive response. So give it a shot. Check it out. If you were at the Grass Pop Music Festival this summer over in Europe, you actually got to see them perform it live. And I do think there is video around, so maybe if you do a little hunting, you can find it. But right now, we're going to do it for you. It's Scorpion Flower, track number 4 off Moonspell's Night Eternal. Then after that, we'll have part 2 of the interview with Fernando. It's all right here, and it's all on the SPV podcast.